In this video, I'm going to show you how we're generating $50,000 per month in new patients with certainty for our dental practices we work with. And we do this without the need to offer any sort of free or discounted services. Before I get into how we do this, I just want to address some of the most common objections that I come across with regards to digital marketing and dental clinics. I want to do this first because I want you to watch this video with an open mind. So I feel as though if I address these objections up front, I'm hoping to just break down a couple of barriers and have you get the most out of this video. So I'm going to approach these first, and then we're going to get into the how and what it is that we're doing that's working. So, objection one. I've hired other agencies in the past and they have overpromised and underdelivered. Unfortunately, this is quite common in this space, and there are far too many so-called digital marketing agencies that will promise results and bank on you signing a 3-month, 6-month, year-long contract. To avoid this happening to you, work with firms that have to earn their keep every single month. At our agency, we don't oblige our clients to any contracts over any number of months whatsoever. We work on a month-to-month basis, and we earn our clients' loyalty day in and day out. And I know that we are not the only ones in this space doing so. So make sure that the agency that you work with is held accountable. Objection number 2. I never click on ads. So why would I pay in hopes that somebody else will click on mine? I have 2 responses to this objection. First, and most importantly, you are not your target audience. So from a marketing perspective, you're already starting off on the wrong foot by assuming that everyone thinks just like you do. Google has become one of the largest companies in the world, with over 70% of its revenue being generated from advertising income alone. According to WordStream, clicks on paid listings beat out organic clicks by a 2-to-1 ratio. That means that an ad is twice more likely to be clicked on than if you own the top spot on Google's organic keyword search. Secondly, our numbers don't lie. Here are some screenshots of our monthly clicks to dental campaigns. People are clicking, people are calling, and these are the people who end up coming in for visits because we're the ones who showed up on their Google searches. This example shows just over 340 clicks per month, which might not seem like a lot, but when you consider that the people who are clicking on these ads have a high intent, and when you consider that the ticket price of what we're offering is extremely high, this can really start to add up. At our agency, we average for most of our dental campaigns about an 8.5% conversion rate for everybody who clicks on our ads. That means that from the 340 people that click on our ads, we can expect about 29 of them to come in and become new patients. That is substantial, especially when we are promoting things like implants, crowns, Invisalign, and all of these high margin services that people are looking for, and there's a lot of competition to get their business. Objection number 3. If my agency is working with other dental clinics, then won't they be competing against me? This is true. If an agency you are working with does not provide you with some sort of exclusivity in your area, then it is very likely that that agency will be competing against you and driving up the price. You can control this. Whenever you work with an agency, you have to request or almost demand that you are provided with a radius of exclusivity around your clinic. And that is really important. We do that by default, and I know a lot of other agencies do that by default, but if you're working with an agency that hasn't brought that up, you can control this. You need to demand this. Ask for a 3-kilometer radius. Ask for a 5-kilometer radius. whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable in moving forward with digital marketing, you need to make sure that you have that exclusivity in your area so that your agency is not competing with itself. Objection number 4. How can I be sure that my new patients are actually coming from the money that I'm spending on digital marketing? What if it's something else? The simple answer is tracking. This is another key piece to the agency that they should provide and that you need to look for in an agency in order to make sure that you are choosing the right agency to work with. You should, at the end of every month, receive a detailed breakdown of your campaigns and how those campaigns directly impacted the amount of new patients that came into your clinic. At our agency, we actually go a step further by tracking phone calls, call length, and in even some cases, recording those phone calls to ensure the quality of the leads that we send to the clinics are very high. Now, there's obviously a lot of mixed feelings and skepticism around digital marketing and how much it can contribute to or technically hurt your business. There's one side where if you hire an agency, you are at risk of wasting a lot of money and not getting any results. On the flip side, if you don't take part in digital marketing, then you do open yourself up to the risk that your competitors will take business that could be yours, and that your clinic can eventually dry up and not receive the amount of new patients that you need in order to get to the organizational goals that you want to get to. To curtail that, we went through these objections. Make sure that you go through them again. If you didn't take notes, make sure that you are looking for an agency that doesn't hold you to a long-term contract. Make sure that they're earning their keep. Make sure that your agency provides you with exclusivity in your area. And make sure that they offer you tracking and detailed reports so that you can verify that what they're doing is actually working. Also, it does help if you understand what sort of strategy you're moving forward with so that you can challenge the agencies that you work with. So, without further ado, I'm now going to start talking about what is actually working in this area so that you know what to look out for and so that you can hire an agency who can implement a strategy like this so you don't end up wasting money and getting discouraged. So what is working? What is this system that is consistently generating $50,000 per month in new patients to our dental clinics? Well, firstly, I want to kind of go back to what it is that I was talking about when I said that we can expect about 29 patients from 340 clicks to our advertisement. So I need you to understand the numbers before we start moving forward. I got these numbers from speaking with the clinics that I work with. Now, the clinics that I work with have actually told me that the lifetime value of a new patient is actually over $3,000. I'm going to go with a very conservative number and provide the lifetime value of a new patient on average to be $2,000. Now, the keyword is on average. Now, I don't want this to get misconstrued and you come back and say, hey, well, I'm expecting $2,000 per patient. No, I'm referring to on average. On average, the lifetime value of a new patient is worth about $2,000. These are real numbers. We actually, from the 340 clicks that we received in February on the slide prior to, we ended up getting in 29 new patients. So 29 times 2,000 actually comes out to $58,000 in average lifetime value in new patients. So that's where we're getting that number from, just because I want to make sure that you're understanding where I'm doing my math. So we're going to go over this first. So technically it's actually more than $50,000, but there are times where we'll get only 25 patients, let's say. So I'm going to go with the most conservative numbers. I'm very confident in this system to be able to generate at least 25 to 30 new patients per month. And considering the averages of the clinics that we work with, that should amount to a minimum of $2,000 on average in lifetime value per new patient. So let's get into it. Now, we follow a pretty basic formula, but the formula is what works. It's a little bit intuitive, however, it's oddly not being used as much as you would expect. So there are three key pieces to this formula. Firstly, and often the most overlooked piece, is to have a specific designated landing page for a service offered at your clinic. Now, normally we recommend choosing to focus on the few services which tend to bring in the most revenue to your specific clinic. So, for example, let's say implants are a huge source of revenue for your clinic, as it is for several of the clinics that we work with. Then we want to build a landing page specifically for implants. We build our landing pages from designs that we have tested and are proven to convert. These landing pages are optimized to prompt the visitor to send an email or to make a phone call to the clinic to schedule an appointment or to book a consultation. We put these landing pages in place of specific search terms so that there is congruency throughout. If somebody is searching for, hey, I broke my tooth. Okay, well, we have a solution for you breaking your tooth. Come visit our website. On that website, we talk about how to repair teeth, and now give us a call or send us an email and we'll schedule you in for an appointment. It's all about the congruency. It's being that person who is there for someone in need with exactly what it is that they need at that time. These landing pages address each service as a solution to a problem and are purposely set up so that the only options on the page are to schedule an appointment or to call into the clinic. Most of the clinics who are spending money on digital advertising skip this crucial step and instead send traffic directly to their website homepage or to specific pages on their website that are not optimized for conversions. This is by far the most common reason I come across that attributes to poor and expensive results. So you want to avoid this. Just because you have a nice looking website doesn't mean that you want to send all of your traffic to that nice looking website. We want to send people to a solution to the problem that they have. That is the goal here. That is what works. Okay, so once we have our landing pages set up, then we are ready to drive traffic to these landing pages. Let's search for a term on Google so you can see what shows up. As you can see here, the entire first page of results are all advertisements, and they take up the entire page. It is our goal to show up on the first page and to have an advertisement that is relevant to the search term so we can prompt the end user to click on our ad and visit our landing page, which is of course optimized for them to convert into a new patient. Here are some of the examples of the ads we're currently using for dental implants and crowns. Google takes into account the relevancy of an advertisement to a search term, and then also takes into account the relevancy of the destination landing page to the advertisement. So what I mean by that is that the ad needs to be relevant to what that person is searching. Like I said earlier, I have a broken tooth. Here's a solution for broken teeth. Here's a landing page that continues to talk about broken teeth. Call us, set up an appointment, we're going to help you fix your broken tooth. There's congruency, there's relevancy throughout the entire process. That is what Google looks for. Ultimately, Google's primary goal is to optimize for the best experience for their customers. This comes from advertisers putting themselves in the shoes of their target markets and showing relevant ads to what the user is searching for, and then relevant content so that the user takes action on their websites. By doing this, Google will increase the quality score of the advertisements that are doing this correctly, and therefore, over time, decrease the price that it will cost for us to acquire a new patient and for us to get onto the first page for the search terms that we're competing for. It's all about quality and relevancy when it comes to Google. That's what it really comes down to. It is important to remember that Google is a place where people search with intent. Generally, when people are searching for dental care, there is a certain level of urgency behind it, which results in less tire kicking and a higher frequency of conversions when all of these steps are implemented correctly. In other words, if you take the time to do this correctly and ensure this sort of congruence, then you will see results quickly. And the cost to acquire a customer should decrease over time as long as whoever is managing the advertisements understands how the Google advertising platform works. The last and final piece of our strategy is a retargeting campaign set up on Facebook. This is an advertising campaign that targets people who have visited our website or our landing pages but have not scheduled in an appointment. It is inevitable that people will click on our Google ads, visit our landing pages, and for whatever reason, leave the site without scheduling themselves in for an appointment or consultation. Of this group of people who leave our landing page, or in other words, bounce, there is often a sizable population within that group that either just got distracted or sidetracked while visiting our site or being on our landing page, despite them having a real intention to actually come in and set up an appointment. So how do we get these people back? Well, that's where these retargeting ads come into play. To remind this group of people of us, we set up a retargeting ads on Facebook. These are inexpensive, highly effective advertisements that show up on Facebook and Instagram to prompt previous visitors to come back and book an appointment with the clinic. The reason these ads are so effective is because we are targeting a small group of people who have already shown interest in our services. They are somewhat familiar with our brand, and since there's such a small group of people in comparison to a normal advertising campaign, it's very inexpensive to get our ads in front of them again. Here are a few examples of the ads that we're using for one of our clients. The retargeting strategy is extremely effective, and many of the largest companies in the world have implemented it for good reason, because they work unbelievably great. In fact, if you are getting traffic to your website without even spending any money on any sort of Google advertisement, I am certain that by just setting up a simple retargeting campaign for anywhere between $2 to $5 per day, you will be able to generate new business just from people who found your website, stumbled upon your website, forgot to book an appointment, got sidetracked, whatever the case may be, and you recapture them on Facebook or Instagram. So there you have it. This is literally the most consistent and effective way that we have come across so far to willfully attract new patients to your clinic with absolute certainty. If you like this video, give us a like and hit the subscribe button. If you decide to hire an agency to do this sort of work for you, make sure that you keep a lookout for what we discussed in this video. Go back to the objections, take notes, make sure you know what you're looking for, and understand what it is that we're talking about in terms of strategy in this video as well. Because when you ask an agency, okay, so what's going to be your approach, it's going to be important that you understand what they're talking about and that they're kind of in line with what it is that we're doing here. If you're interested in having us set up something like this for your clinic, you can visit us at 151digital.com/dental marketing and sign up for a free consultation, or you can visit us on Instagram or Facebook, and one of our team members will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for sitting through this, and I hope you learned something that's going to help you. Leave a comment if you have any sort of questions, and thanks again.